Again, this is the alternative fashion panel. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next slide. So that's just the intro picture, so you know you're in the right place. Okay. And as I mentioned, this panel does focus on the fashion, like primarily, so it's not necessarily as much, you know, history and like lifestyle, some of the fashion. So just keep that in mind. Like if I say something that's not 100% like it leaves out something key because you're like really into that fashion, just keep that in mind. It's like we're just doing a quick like rundown on fashion. So the pictures, you know, they're examples, so it's just something to see visually and to give you an idea. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask during and after the presentation. Okay, about myself. I really like fashion in general, and I have my own clothing store, and it's called Midnyte Fantasy. So I sell a variety of clothing styles. A lot of it's alternative, and I do try to design some of my own stuff as well, but I also have just a mix of just various things. Like I'll sell some name brands like alternative labels like Lip Service, which is in California, and they are fairly well known. You can look them up if you don't know them, but they sell a lot of kind of gothic and punk fashion. So anyways, yeah, I just have my own store, so I just kind of naturally am interested in fashion. And so here's a list of some alternative fashions that are fairly like well known and seen and recognized. So we'll be doing a brief little kind of look at all of these. So the first one we're going to start with is like a rockabilly kind of retro look. So let's go ahead and take a look. So you've probably seen things like this before. You see a lot of women like in the polka dot dresses and like the red shoes, and you know, as you can see just from the picture, like that's just an overall little kind of like styling. It's pretty popular in even other countries besides the US, even though that's like where it basically began, is here, and so it's kind of related a lot to like American culture, I guess. And rock and roll is kind of another big influence from it, I guess, because rockabilly is a music genre too. And here's just some kind of retro style dresses. You can see they use a lot of the like kind of wide skirts, like the bows and sashes. So it's like, I think they call them like swing dresses or something. People go dancing in them or something.
Circle skirts.
Whatever, yeah, circle skirts.
Just the dresses.
Okay, so circle skirts, and again, you see a lot of like polka dots and stuff, and a lot of red. You see a lot of red. And then some kind of like, I don't know, it seems like tattoo conventions have a lot of people who are into this style, just from what I've noticed. So sometimes I see kind of like a mesh with like people who are really into tattoos. They also really like the rockabilly kind of look, but I mean that's not saying like everybody who likes tattoos or something is into rockabilly, it's just something I notice sometimes. So I actually have a model here to kind of help demonstrate the rockabilly style.
Hi, I'm Purrversia. I'll be your rockabilly model. This is sort of a 50s style of dress. Usually they made them, the waist will be here to be more flattering to a womanly figure at the time. And like some of the makeup styles they use, you'll have like the cat eye, really basic, and a red lip. Usually you'll paint your fingernails red, you know, you do your toenails too, like fancy shoes. A lot of times you'd wear stockings and they would have the lines in them. I don't have them on right now because it's a little hot in the desert, but you know. But what were some of the other questions?
Where do you get your clothes?
This dress is from Hot Topic. It's Morbid Threads, but I also have different alternative or gothic fashions from Lip Service, like you were talking about. But I also design dresses like the two you see up there, they were done from a pattern, but like changed up a little bit. So that I picked, that's a bunny print, it's a vintage print. And this one I did because I wanted to do kind of a patriotic theme. So like, I have my own clothing brand, and that's kind of how I started doing that costuming.
How long have you been into this fashion?
At least a few years. I've always liked to dress up, and I like things that are flattering to a womanly body. And I noticed that a lot of people who like dressing in the rockabilly style, they're actually really varied in size, but I see many people that are like very curvy, kind of influenced by, say, Betty Page or Marilyn Monroe kind of shapes, like the 40s and 50s models you'd see in the military, like pinups, of course. And, go ahead.
I had the panel before this, and I think I left my phone here. Okay.
Okay. That's okay. What you were just saying about the icons like Betty Page, like, do you have any particular like source of inspiration you look at, like, either icons or just like anything?
Yeah, mostly Betty Page's work, like more her pinup style. Like her nudes are technically classy though, and her fetish work is some of the first stuff out there. And just sort of, a way to be playful. Like pinup modeling is also very much about like showing emotion in the face, or being like, kind of like really playing it up. So a lot of it you can do with the makeup and the look. Like if you just had a basic shirt and like a high-waisted skirt, look kind of 40s, like you're really going to be able to enhance that with, say, you have victory rolls, or you really do a major cat eye, or add modern ones and make them 2 different sizes, or like I make these bird's nest ones because I'm not quite as good as my hairdresser who did those. But just basically, like, I'm influenced by a lot of very, womanly shaped figures. It's very playful. I like that kind of thing. So.
Okay, next style is steampunk, which is pretty popular at a lot of conventions and stuff because you'll see like sci-fi cons and stuff. So things like this have kind of a big following. So it's definitely getting more popular and like well known, I guess. And it is pretty interesting because it's really varied and a lot of people take it in different ways. But generally, it's kind of inspired from like science fiction in general, and it kind of blends technology in a kind of like a fantasy sense, but also it kind of uses a lot of like retro styles in a way, like Victorian. So it's almost like Victorian, or sometimes you see things like Wild West or like post-apocalyptic, but they kind of all blend like fantasy and technology and all of that together. And as I was saying, the fashion is very diverse and kind of really varied, but some things that you do see a lot are like gears and in clocks, like clock type devices, goggles you see a lot because people kind of have like pilot type characters.
Airships.
Yeah, airships, and it's all kind of focused on like steam power too. So it's all kind of got its own like universe in a way. But I'm sure you've seen people like in this style before, and like maybe you're confused at first when you saw it, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then I guess as I mentioned before, like it's just shown differently. Sometimes it's like a post-apocalyptic, sometimes it's more Victorian, and then sometimes it's more kind of like just Western. And again, it could all like overlap too. And I had a model to kind of help demonstrate this, but unfortunately, she had some complications, so she's not available. But you can kind of see some pictures. She kind of had a real like Western, kind of almost like saloon girl looking style. So, it's just kind of Western, kind of like maybe slightly Victorian in a way, like modernized. So, but she's not here. So So next we'll move on to like a Gothic style. And again, you know, like every single high fashion, there's a lot of subgenres and stuff too, but for this one, we'll be kind of focusing more just on like a romantic kind of Victorian Gothic, so it's more kind of dressy, it's not so much punk, because we'll be kind of looking more at punk later. So it's usually got like the dark and mysterious vibe. It's really kind of, it's
Steampunk about the years. It was like before steampunk.
yeah, because it's Victorian. So, anyways, it's really dressy and elegant, basically.
More black, less brown and red.
And then, of course, it's commonly seen that, you know, Gothic fashion is pretty much predominantly black, or at least, you know, usually all black. But it just depends. I mean, it's not like an outfit can't fit into this category just because it's not all black, or because it's all black, it doesn't automatically make it like a Gothic outfit. So it just depends, but a lot of times it is pretty black, kind of funeral looking. Yes. And here's just some examples. So again, you know, kind of really elegant, like long sleeves, long skirts, a lot of lace, kind of frills, and the whole style is, you know, kind of almost like vampiric, kind of really elegant. And just, it's not, you know, colorful or anything like that. So, as I mentioned, it's very elegant, like I already established. And again, lace and ruffles and velvet and like silk and things like that, those are often seen in a lot of kind of Gothic styles. And it usually blends a lot of those things together. So, and a lot of other fashion, sometimes, you know, these all blend, like steampunk can look very Gothic sometimes too. And then vice versa, other things can look like they took Gothic elements. So, we'll go look at our next model, who is wearing all black.
Hi, I'm Ian Machine. And my style's very like dark androgynous, and like I like to wear a lot of like draping and mesh and leather and spikes. I think it's really sexy and cool. Yeah. Yes.
How did you get so beautiful?
Well, it came out of my mother, and I just have really good genetics. It's all genetics.
Okay. Also, you need to show your shoes.
Oh, my shoes. It's basically the highlight of my outfit, and I've been wearing them for about like 5 hours straight. I don't know if you can see them.
Put it up on the table.
Yeah, put it on.
Do you want me to stand on the table?
I don't
Do a
wanna
dance?
stand.
You guys want me to strip? Will this hold my fat ass?
Be gentle.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like having a panic attack right now.
Gently, gently.
Okay, here's my
Gently,
shoes.
gently.
I don't know if you can see them. I'm like shaking and I'm having an anxiety attack, so I'm gonna get down. I'm good. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So there was that.
Okay, and where do you typically get a lot of your clothes? Either online or locally?
I usually find a lot of stuff online. Like I find that eBay is really good, and I don't know, like Etsy is really good for like accessories and stuff. The shirt I got from a designer in LA called Mother of London. They have really fabulous like shirts and like a lot of really cool like leather accessories and everything. It's more high end, but if you're looking to spend a lot of money, Mother of London is really awesome. These pants are from H&M, and the shoes are from solestruck.com. That's S-O-L-E, struck.com. And the designer of these shoes is Jeffrey Campbell. He has a lot of really awesome like shoes and everything, like the crazy platforms and stuff like that.
Okay, how much time do you kind of like spend on your hair and makeup, and like how important is that to your kind of style?
My hair I usually spend about 10 minutes on. Like I usually don't really care. Like I hire someone else to do that for me. Like I don't even trust myself with my own hair. So there's that. And then makeup, I'm like a huge makeup junkie. Like I will seriously spend about $60 on makeup like in one trip. And some of my favorite brands of makeup are like NARS and MAC, and then if you're looking for like a really pigmented, like bright eyeshadow, I would go with Sugar Pill. And I usually spend about 2 hours on my makeup, but if you like really want to do like really good eyeshadow, I would suggest like getting brushes instead of like those like sponge things that people typically use that come in the thing. Target sells really cheap ones for like $1. Elf, yes. Right. Yeah, they're really cheap and they work really good and they've lasted me a really long time. So, yeah.
Okay, so inspiration, like what kind of icons do you look at for like your style and everything?
As for like celebrities or like people, I really like David Bowie a lot. Yeah. Of course, yes. And I like Pete Burns, even though his face is like messed up now. He's in the band Dead or Alive. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that. It's from the 80s.
You spin me right around.
Yes. And then I really like Susie from Susie and the Banshees. Yay. Shirley Manson. Yeah, just like people like that, like really people that like to think outside of the box, have their own style, like don't like follow anyone else. Like if they're a man and they want to wear a skirt, they'll wear a skirt. Like who cares? Like it's just fashion. Like fashion knows no gender. Like that's how I see it.
Okay, and then like I mean, do you look at like fashion magazines and anything like that?
I usually not necessarily magazines, but I find like sites like Tumblr are like a really good site to look for like inspiration and stuff.
Like cool pictures. And stuff.
Yeah, like you can find like lots of cool pictures on sites like Tumblr and stuff. Like I usually don't look in like magazines or anything. So
okay, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
The style is like the Lolita style, and I don't know. This like I just don't even want to talk about the style because like.
You want me to talk about it?
No, it's fine. It's just. Some of the people into it like get crazy if you say something like minorly off about it sometimes, but anyways, there's a lot of different like subgenres, like a lot of the other styles. So some of the ones that are pretty well known are like the Gothic Lolita, Sweet Lolita, you know, etc. And here's just kind of a group shot of some Lolitas.
It's all sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a group shot. So.
Yeah.
And then here's some more. This is like a kind of an all-white look, so it's the Shiro Lolita, which Shiro is Japanese for white. So it's all just, you know, kind of like white out, I guess. It's a little less common, you don't really see that very often. But for someone like unfamiliar with the style, it's just very doll-like, and then it's heavily layers, like the dresses always have a lot of petticoats, so it's really frilly and fluffy and just, I don't know, like really doll, fluffy.
Like a little girl.
But anyways, and the prints, like a lot of times you see like really cutesy stuff, like you'll see sweets and you'll see things like carousels, like kind of really, not exactly like, I don't want to say childish, but like kind of really like storybook, kind of like childlike themes, but it's still also kind of refined.
Something fast about like Lolita. Lolita's really like weird, like it's like hard to explain if you don't have the mindset, but it's pretty much all like the Versailles kind of a mindset. Everything is supposed to be like when the fashion was made, everything was supposed to be really like expensive and really nice quality because it was kind of like the 90s and everything was pretty much being mass produced. It was like the time of like t-shirts and windbreakers and it was just horrible. So Lolita really came out of this desire to go back to the age when you had like 3 or 4 dresses and they were really well made. It was like handmade lace, hand dyed, everything was like super awesome, but you only had like 3 or 4 of them. You know, if you bought like a dress, you spent all of your money on it. So that's kind of where Lolita came out of, and that's why it's so like ridiculous if you don't understand what's going on behind that. So when you see like a Lolita outfit, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, you can have like a one-piece dress which has sleeves, and then you'll have like a petticoat, and you'll have bloomers underneath it. You have tights, shoes, a head bow, all of this stuff. You can see people in outfits that can cost anywhere from you know, $100 if they get it off brand, up to a couple thousand if you're really buying something that's really nice. So when you see people walking around like that, that's kind of why they have that look like, I'm better than everybody. It's because they're wearing like grand clothing. So Lolita's like a really weird, and it's like, if you don't understand the kind of a rich bitch kind of that mindset, if you don't mind me saying that, it's weird. It's the, kind of the name brand. You know how everybody's like, oh, this is the Chanel purse, oh, this is Louis Vuitton. That's where the Lolita, it's kind of the Japanese version of that. It's the like, oh, this is Baby the Star Stamp, right? Oh, that's Angelic Pretty. So it's all frilly and lace and ruffles and gathered, and yeah, so everybody's really proud of their outfit. And then it's a lot of like teddy bears, a lot of like pink, different stuff like that. It's supposed to look like a little porcelain doll, like very like childhood. It's sort of like if you're 6 years old and you draw your perfect outfit, and then 10 years later they like give it to you. That's Lolita. So, and then there were people that liked the style but didn't like the cute aspect of it, and then they kind of just made it in black. And then you kind of focus more, since it's all like monochromatic, since it's just the one color, you focus more on the way that it's made and the way that the lace is and the ruffles are and stuff like that. You notice the craftsmanship as opposed to the print or the stuff like that. So they kind of branched off from there, but it's all about the really nice high quality stuff. And then lately it started turned into, hey, it's a fashion style, so it has sort of gotten more accessible. Things aren't quite as expensive, and there's a lot of brands that are a lot more affordable. But the original mindset was very fancy and rich and stuff like that. So that's kind of Lolita. So when you see people walking around and they've got like the wigs and the head bows and all that stuff, like, it's serious shit. They put a lot of money into that. So yeah, that's Lolita. I don't know.
The punk style, which again, you'll see things like J-punk a lot at conventions. It's very popular. And it's not exactly the same as like more traditional punk, but you know, some people more casually just into the fashion probably kind of use or adapt to both because they don't really know or whatever. So anyways, punk clothing is often seen like altered and kind of like torn. Like you'll see like shredded vests and stuff like that. They usually put like patches on their clothes. It's really, yeah, and studs, like things like metal. They just love to customize, and it's really kind of individual, and it's sometimes has like messages and stuff like that. And you'll see prints like plaid and animal print a lot too sometimes. So not so much in the J-punk though, like kind of just depends. But so as I mentioned, you know, like a lot of metal, you'll see like piercings and spikes and studs and things, and combat boots. That's pretty like common thing to see with punk clothes. And then J-punk, you know, it's a little different, and there's a whole bunch of even J-punk styles of fashion too. So you can kind of just go on. You could do a whole panel on just like J fashion and J-punk fashion. So we won't get into it too much, but here's just some pictures. And now let's talk to Kiko.
Hi, I'm Kiko. Yeah, I'm wearing like a punk outfit-ish today, just for like this. I wear like a lot of like punk clothing, but I kind of wear like a whole lot of styles, so I kind of blend it all together. So I'm not like hardcore punk, like, you know, smashing windows and beating up small children kind of thing. But, you know, like I'll wear like a punk outfit, but then I'll have like a Lolita skirt or,
so your fashion's very varied too.
Yeah, I like mix everything together, so I never am able to like pinpoint to be like, this is a solidly Lolita outfit, because I like slip up and have like studs, and I'm like, sorry, my bad.
But you just have like kind of an edgier like vibe to your clothes.
Yep, it's fun.
Okay, so where do you get a lot of your clothes and make them, whatever?
I get a lot at Goodwill. A lot at Goodwill. Number one thing about shopping at Goodwill, never trust the sizes. For whatever reason, they put like tags on them. I've got like all these dresses where they were listed as like size 7 and 8 and size 12 and stuff like that, and they fit me.
So they're obviously not that big of a size. So like you never want to trust the tags. Just go through and look for like everything that you like, anything that you could possibly use. And even if it's not your size, you can always just make it work and stuff like that. So I get a lot of stuff at Goodwill and tailor it. And I also just like walk around the different stores. Like I never let like a preconception of a store get the best of me. And a lot of people are like, oh, I hate Hot Topic, or oh, that place is irritating. It's like you just have to go in. You can always find stuff someplace. You know, you find like the best stuff in stores you didn't expect. So I just kind of wander around and do a lot of that. And I get stuff off the internet because a lot of designers don't live in Mesa. Because Mesa sucks. But yeah, so it's fun.
Okay, so do you have like inspiration for your fashion? Like anything particular? Icons? Things you look at?
Yes. I have a lot of different inspiration. Since I have so many different styles that I do, since I do everything from like Lolita to punk to like the Japanese fashions and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff that inspires me can be like opposite. Like when I look at Lolita, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so frilly and adorable. And then other days I'm like, I just want to be in something that's ripped and I don't have to care about. So I have a lot of inspirations. As far as like Lolita goes, I read like the Gothic Lolita Bible, so I really like a lot of the models in there. I read Kamikaze Girls. I don't know if anybody's heard of that at all. Okay. It's like this Lolita book about this, yeah, it's this Lolita book about this little girl that lives in like Japan, and she's like a hardcore Lolita, like lifestyle, crazy lady. So, yeah, she's like my idol. She's really crazy. And then different things I love, like designers like Vivienne Westwood is a favorite, Jeffrey Campbell for shoes. Just like different alternative fashion people. I really like Coco Chanel. Different people that like push the boundaries of stuff. And then like Sid Vicious and stuff for like punk clothing. And I have a lot of friends that wear alternative clothing, so I kind of take inspiration from them. And yeah, it's fun.
Oh yeah, hair and makeup. Is there like anything particular with that?
Hair and makeup.
Like how long do you spend usually?
Well, for like most of my life I had like, yeah, for most of my life I had like long, crazy hair, like waist level, and it was like, there's so much to deal with. Like there was always just hair just everywhere. I couldn't like deal with it. I just had it in a ponytail a lot of times. I'm really not good at doing my hair because it like gets frizzy and I can't like make it smooth. You know, you go and get your hair cut and like the hairstylist does it and you get home and you can never ever recreate it. So like I would never be able to do stuff like that. So eventually I just got frustrated and cut it all off. Because I figure you can't do short hair wrong. So I mostly focus like when I'm doing my hair and stuff like that with like dyeing it. So I've got it like black and blue right now, which is fun. And then if you see me tomorrow, I'm gonna have pink hair. That's happening tonight. So I mostly just dye my hair to make it look interesting and then just kind of let it do whatever it's gonna do. So I don't spend a lot of time on that. I like doing makeup, but I don't like spending a lot of money on it, so I buy like the cheap stuff and it doesn't work, and then I just kind of have to deal with it. But I don't know. Yeah, it's like I do buy like MAC stuff, but I just find it really difficult to pay like $21 for like a pot of like pigment that I'm gonna use for like 2 outfits because I have nothing that's navy blue. Like I just don't see the sense in it. So when I go to like MAC, I'll get stuff that's like white or black so I can wear it with everything. But then I don't know, I run out of it too quickly. So makeup is just, I don't know, love-hate relationship with it. I always wear a lot of makeup, probably more than my mom likes, but I don't know, I'm not really good at it. I usually just use it to highlight my outfit. I'd rather let my clothes speak for me because I know I'm not good at doing makeup and hair.
That's okay, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically pretty much, unless anybody has any particular questions for her. Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, again, as you mentioned, like thrift stores, that's a really good option for people if they just kind of want to develop a sense of new style fashion for themselves. And a lot of alternative people definitely use a thrift store. I know I go to the thrift store too, so yeah, Sabers definitely. So anybody who doesn't know where to go or something and just doesn't have a lot of money to devote maybe to their clothes, just try the thrift store. Like, it's different every time, so just because you went once, like, you never know where you'll find again or a different location. So it's just a really good option to keep in mind. So the next style we're looking at is kind of like a cyber industrial style. It's kind of more kind of futuristic looking, and a lot of times you'll see like military kind of looking clothes, and you'll see a lot of like vinyl and latex, really shiny, and kind of really strict looking. Anyways, it's pretty dark generally. It's not like, again, bright and colorful. Except there is a style we won't be looking at that is bright and colorful. But here's just kind of, again, like there is some color here with the green. You do see like some people, do like neon colors with this style still, but they usually still kind of keep it pretty dark, like black and green, black and blue, black and pink. But some people, might dress all crazy like this and then have orange and pink and blue or something, because some people like to be really colorful. Which is kind of sometimes people more like this, like the raver look. People who dress like, kind of similar, like sometimes futuristic too, but some of them are also just, really casual. They just, like this girl right here, she has like, bright hair, but, her outfit itself is pretty casual, but she still has a very distinct look because of all the like, bangles and the whatever, like I don't even know all the things around her. But,
like the lady up front.
Yeah, actually, you, like, I don't want to like point you out if you're uncomfortable, but yeah, like you're,
yeah, just go like this.
That's like a very good example. So, since I don't have a model for this, it's like really cool you're there. So it's very similar. And then you'll see things like these furry little.
They're called fluffies.
Yeah. Okay, fluffies.
Don't call them furries. That is too cool.
Not like that. Okay, fluffies. You see a lot of. They are a male, but as you can see, they're definitely androgynous, and that's kind of the whole thing about drag, because it's the opposite gender, or at least you want to appear that way. It's definitely pretty alternative because a lot of people don't accept it, so a lot of people keep it pretty secret. But some people are also really into it, so it also has a big fan following. As I mentioned, disguising true gender, trying to appear as the opposite gender, and it's usually seen as pretty over-the-top, really dramatic outfits, especially since a lot of times it's men who are trying to appear as women. They put heavy makeup on, usually use wigs, other attention that they do too, that we don't need to get into. This is kind of like, people probably know who this is. This is like Mana, who's pretty well known, and then this is another artist from some band named Blood. So you see a lot of the Japanese rock bands, a lot of times they'll have some of the members, not always, but occasionally they'll dress like as a woman, but well, it's also a different style though, because you look at this one, it's again, like this is blending like the whole gothic look again too. It's not just, like it is very eccentric, over the top like costuming sometimes, but it's not the attitude thing, which we're kind of like looking at before. Like here, the makeup and everything, but they always have this kind of like attitude, and that's kind of, you kind of just see the whole face, like look at those eyebrows, like, it's just kind of like, they just got that whole thing. But here, it's almost like no expression. It's all just kind of, in a way, it's almost more convincing in my personal opinion, but
yeah. In some weird way, it's like when people dress up in drag, it's like they almost, some of them it seems like they know they're not going to be seen as a woman, so they go so over the top to show that they can't be. Like it's like over the top makeup, so they don't look actually like a woman. They're going so far over the line that it's obvious that they're not, but that they're trying.
It's more of a performance art type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. It's definitely like
do every day. Like it's more something you would see in like a bar or something, like as a drag queen like performing like lip syncing to a song for tips. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like that's where you'll see a lot of those things too. And then obviously, you know, like some of these icons, you know, they don't always necessarily probably dress like that. It's just, you know, they're in a band and like, or whatever they do, and you know, it's just like publicity and just an image. Like, and sometimes they don't always do it. So again, it's just that's how alternative fashion is sometimes. Like people often have day jobs, so they can't always dress like, you know, how they want to dress or how everything they have at home because, well, some people might not appreciate that. So
Wigs help.
yeah, wigs can help, but there's other things too. I mean, you can't like show up in your, you know, ripped up clothes and fishnets or whatever to like work at Subway or something. You know, it's like whatever.
Like going to the bank.
And so anyways, we'll move on to our next model. Just to clarify, I'm not saying she's a drag model or anything like that. I'm just, she's at the end, so. She actually has her own clothing line, so she's kind of just gonna talk about that and her own sense of style for that. So don't associate the drag with her or anything.
I know that like I don't put myself under that title of drag, but it's very often that I can be seen in like the opposite sex, like very androgynous. I have that body structure, so I mean like I can like take down my boobs.
It doesn't look like you have a body structure right now.
Oh, I know, especially right now, but I mean that's my fashion show outfit. I wish I was wearing like my original clothes, but I didn't really bring any. It was just so much hassle. But anyways, so my favorite style is like Japanese punk / visual K. I love how over the top it can get and how it's just like, it just makes like a statement. Like when you're walking through a crowd, it's just like, it's eye-popping and you're just like, hey, she looks really cool. She's like, you know, she has that attitude and that fierceness and just that personality that's just amazing and over the top and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay, and where do you usually like make your clothes or wear clothes you like?
I usually make my clothes like what Sean said. I do have my own brand called Dictator Fantasyland. It was established in actually Saboten 2009. So it's been, how long has it been? Three years? I suck at that right now. But yeah, it's been 3 years since I've had it. It's more based on like the Japanese punk. Like as you can see over here. I do actually make my own leather belts. They're made of real leather. I'm sorry if you know you're anti, you know, animal kill or whatever. I'm sorry, but it's actual leather and they're all custom made, so it's like one of a kind, and you'll never. Yeah, so I mean chains are fun. You know, it's all about the black, the red, all the studs, like these sharp, pointy things that I have in my outfit. But yeah, so Dictator Fantasyland is based on that kind of style, and I make the belts, I make like leather bracelets, I have collars. I mean, like sometimes when people walk around, they bought it and they're just like, what are these for? I'm like, well, that's kind of up to you. I'm not gonna go into it. And actually, fun story, I had a couple, they bought one and they come back the next day and they're like, the chain breaking thing, it broke. I'm like, well, what did you do last night? Like, whoa, okay. But anyways, yeah, so that's my brand. We were in the fashion show. We were the only people with the black, as you can tell. Or wait, who did go to the fashion show?
Us.
Everyone behind me and then like the side there. But yeah, like I mean, when you usually go to convention fashion shows, like you see a lot of like Lolita. So I feel like, you know, having that kind of style like the J-punk is like a nice visual, how do you say?
Contrast?
Yes, contrast, and it's just more appealing because then you're just like, whoa, like I've never seen that. I think so. I mean, no offense, but I'm kind of not really into Lolita. Yes.
Were the four like really skinny Asian models not really like popular yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are mine. So like
They were my favorite.
yes. And like another thing with like my fashion shows, a lot of them wear bandanas over their face because I feel that it's not always about what they look like underneath, like, you know, if they're pretty or not. You know, like I feel like it's more about the clothes making a statement instead. I just like that, you know, that kind of thing. And then also like if you're walking on the runway and there are pictures taken, you can get such a derpy face going on. So I kind of take that away with the mask so they don't have to worry about that. So yeah. Okay, next question. I'm taking a long time, I'm sorry.
No, that's really good, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so for like hair and makeup, is that pretty important to you? Like,
Yes.
do you use a lot of like interesting hairstyles? I know
Yes.
you do. So.
Yeah. I do believe hair and makeup is very important. Not today because I'm wearing a wig, but like tomorrow and Monday,
Normally.
I will have like super teased hair that's all like flamboyant, like this one right here on your right. It's just very teased and whisked out. I love that style. I think it's important to have like a very impact piece overall. And I usually spend for both like an hour to an hour and a half, just so that it's nice and decent for everyone. So, yeah.
Okay, what about makeup?
Makeup. Usually I like what Ian said.
Yeah.
What Ian said. I buy my stuff at like Target, like e.l.f. products, so I find that they're very helpful, and they're $1. Like I'm a college student. I don't have money to go buy like MAC or like all those other expensive makeups, but I mean those are nice too. Like if you have the money, go buy it. But yeah, so e.l.f. it's very nice to have.
What is e.l.f.?
Eyes, lips, face.
Eyes, lips, face, and you know like they're
It's cheaper, but it works wrong.
yeah, it does. Like I'm sorry, what?
Color packaging.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
But people eat like Kmart.
Oh.
Okay. Well, and okay, are there any like particular fashion icons, things you get inspiration from for your whole like fashion line, just individually?
I think my favorite fashion person or like fashionist person.
Fashionista?
Yeah, fashionist. Oh my gosh. I would have to say H. Naoto from Japan. His stuff is very eye appealing and it's just so very awesome. I don't know how else to explain it. I also find like inspiration in like the smallest places. Like if something is just portrayed well, like through like emotive pictures or even like Tumblr, like they have those all over the place. And you know, if something looks really good fashion-wise, I usually just take inspiration from that and kind of pull my own kind of style with theirs. And then Lookbook is also a nice place to go and just.
Do you have a lookbook?
Yeah, I
I
do.
never see you post on it.
Oh, I know. I don't take. It's been like 6 months since I had my last photo shoot. It's been a long time. So yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's basically it, I guess. Does anybody have any other questions for her?
I do take commissions for Dictator Fantasyland.
And she also has a Facebook page for her own.
Oh yeah, go like Dictator Fantasyland. You won't be disappointed at all. Okay.
So moving along, I guess about myself, as I did mention, I do have a store, so that's why I kind of have all this kind of interest in fashion. I try to like learn about different fashions too, so I don't just, you know, only appeal to like one group of people. I want, you know, to get interest from multiple sides. And of course, as you can see, as a lot of the models you mentioned, a lot of their styles aren't just one thing. Like they dress in different things all the time. Like all of them probably do, and most people do. Like so. Anyways, as you can probably see, like from the picture, I'm kind of portraying it more in like an elegant, kind of a more gothic look, I guess you could say. But you know, it really just depends. Like I have a lot of rockabilly stuff up too, more like how she is dressed. So. And I also I have punk stuff, like lip service is actually a lot more punky than this. It's not usually as elegant, but this is just my banner for it. And that is the website, midnytefantasy.com, MIDNYTE, and then fantasy.com. So if you ever want to check it out or anything, and I have a Facebook page for that too. So you can always just check it out there. You can see a lot more styles too, in case, you know, this isn't you or you're just curious. You can always check it out. Oh, and here's some more pictures. And this is Kiko. And these are just some other models wearing stuff. And you can't really see it that well, but this is like a red, like unisex coat. And actually a male is wearing this, but it's pretty hard to see in this picture because it's really tiny and it's just showing a lot of background. But yeah, thank you for viewing, and if anybody does have any questions, like be sure to ask us. You can just come up too. Like, you don't have to ask in front of everyone. Because that'd probably be a lot less intimidating. So, and if you ever if you want pictures or anything too, like, that's perfectly fine. Just, you know, be sure to ask politely, or they might. I'm just kidding. No, they'll be happy to take pictures of you. And then here is just a wrap up of the models that were here, and they all have, you know, you can connect with them if you want to talk to them, be best friends with them, or see awesome pictures of them.
Kiko coming at you.
Yeah, here's all of them. Well, she's not here, so you can just ignore her, pretend she doesn't exist. Besides that, like, URL is crazy anyways. So.
It's like all these.
Yeah. So anyways, Purrversia right here. Kiko's over there with the key in her ear.
It's my house.
And short hair. And Ian is the one with the horns and the awesome shoes. Here's Larxy.
No, my real name is Machine.
And then this one is just myself, so I don't really want to talk